What is parasitic arthropods? Arthropod is an invertebrate animal in phylum Arthropoda. Parasitic arthropods are specialized members of these phylums that live on or inside a host organism to obtain nutrition and shelter, often causing harm or spreading diseases. It has segmented bodies, hard exoskeleton, and jointed appendages. Arthropod is divided into two main groups: insecta, or lice, arachnids. Lice and ticks are ectoparasites that survive by feeding on blood. Type of parasitic arthropods. First one is class Insecta, which is lice. There are three types of lice: head louse, body louse, and pubic crab louse. For the second type, which is class Arachnids, ticks. There are three medically important ticks. The first one is black-legged deer ticks, next is American dog ticks, and Lone Star ticks.
Now let's move on to the life cycle of lice. The life cycle of lice is a continuous 32 days biological process that begins at day 0 when a female lays an egg known as a nid firmly onto a hair shaft. Over the next 6 to 7 days, the larva develops and eventually emerges, beginning a series of growth stages defined by 3 distinct molds. The first mold occurs shortly after hatching, followed by a second mold as the larva matures, and finally a third mold between day 8 and day 19. Upon emerging from this final mold, the lice reach adulthood and begin to reproduce. Notably, the male is slightly smaller than the female. By day 23 to 25, the female lays her first egg after mating, and from that point onward, she can lay approximately 3 to 8 eggs per day for the rest of her life. The cycle concludes when the luce dies after reaching its total lifespan and approximately 32 days. Moving to the life cycle of the tick, the cycle begins when an adult female tick lays eggs, especially thousands of eggs at one time, around 2 to 5,000. These eggs are usually laid in soil, leaf litter, or hidden areas, and after a few weeks, the eggs hatch into larvae. At this stage, the larva has only 6 legs and is very small, usually feeding on small animals like rodents, birds, and reptiles. Once the larva finds a host and it takes its first blood meal, it drops to the ground and molts into the next stage. Now referred to as a nymph, the tick has 8 legs and is larger than the larva but still small, requiring a blood meal to grow. Nymph may feed on small animals, larger animals, or humans, and after feeding, the nymph molts and becomes an adult tick. Finally, adult ticks are fully developed with 8 legs and seek larger hosts such as deer, dogs, cattle, or humans. After mating and feeding, the male usually dies while the female drops off the host, lays eggs, and then dies. While this general cycle applies across species, there are some key that differentiate all of them. Head lice live on scalp hair and take 7 to 10 days to hatch. Body lice live in clothing and bedding with a 5 to 10 day hatching period, and pubic lice inhabit coarse hair with a 6 to 8 day hatching period. Furthermore, their ability to survive off a host varies significantly, with head lice lasting 6 to 8 days and body lice up to 7 days, while pubic lice are much more fragile, surviving only 1 to 2 days without a host.
You might be wondering, why are these tiny creatures said to be dangerous? It's not just the itch, it's the pathogen that they carry. Both lice and ticks act as vectors for disease transmissions. A disease vector is an organism that transmits pathogens like viruses, bacteria, or parasites from one host to another.
Transmission can occur in 2 ways. The first one is the biological transmission. In biological transmission, the pathogen develops inside the arthropod's body before it being passed to humans. For example, the Anopheles mosquito that transmit malaria. The second one is the mechanical transmissions. In mechanical transmission, the arthropod does not become infected. Instead, it carries germs on its body. For example, houseflies pick up bacteria from garbage and transfer them to human food, causing food poisoning and diarrhea. Lyme disease is an infectious blood-borne bacterial disease that transmitted by ticks and caused by Borrelia burgdorferi species. A tick infected with Bacteria burgdorferi can transmit the bacteria to human and animal through their saliva during feeding. The first few hours after attachment, the bacteria in the tick's midgut switch their outer surface protein from OSPA to OSPC, which helps with transmission and provides protection against the host immune system. After 24 hours of attachment, the bacteria passes from the tick's digestive system to the host skins and then into the blood vessels. So, the longer tick is attached, the more likely the transmission will occur. After the bacteria get into the skin, they cause a local infection and activates local immune cells, leading to an inflammatory response. For lice, head lice are the most common, but they don't actually spread major diseases. Body lice is the one who actually can spread diseases. It spreads diseases through its feces. So, when a person scratches the itchy bite, they would accidentally rub the lost infected feces into the tiny one, for instance. That way, the illness can be spread.
Prevention strategies. Firstly, do not share personal items such as hats and scarves. Secondly, wear long protective clothing to limit entry points for both parasites. Thirdly, wash beddings, towels, and clothing regularly using hot water. Lastly, perform regular body checks focusing on the scalp, behind the ears, and the back of the neck.